You guys look super sexy. Oh. Yes.
Hi, this is Christina Dam, and this is Liberate the Podcast, where we educate, motivate, inspire, and liberate your consciousness. From spirituality, holistic healing, to creativity and conscious business, we've got your mind, body, and spirit covered.
Welcome to Deep Cuts.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Deep Cuts. It sounds so painful.
I know, it really does.
I mean, I don't know what they mean by deep cuts.
But this experience will not be painful for you.
No. Definitely not.
Maybe for us a little bit.
Who are you?
I'm LANI. Hi.
Jay, Bradley, good to see you. And we are doing our first Deep Cuts with Liberate.
Yeah.
And I think we have some interesting things to talk about. And it's not just for people who are healers, right? Although we do want to talk a lot about what it means to be a wounded healer.
Yes.
Right?
For sure.
And then we want to talk a little bit about anxiety.
Depression. Yeah, imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, let's start with, would you want to tell people who you are first?
Well, my name is LANI. I'm a practitioner here. I'm a hypnotist, an NLP practitioner, and I also do a little bit of pranic healing. I'm originally from the East Coast. Moved out here about 1.5 years ago to pursue this
She's
field.
amazing, by the way. She did a 10-minute hypnosis on me, and things really shifted around money. So, yeah, I told you that.
Oh,
no,
really
seriously,
nice.
she's awesome.
Really nice. And that's a little bit about me, though. I don't know, but I grew up really introverted and shy, and so I always was confronted with social anxiety primarily. So it's kind of funny that I'm a practitioner and I'd run a meditation class, and I'm having to do this right now.
I know.
And things like talks, and it's really out of my wheelhouse. It's not something I'm really comfortable with at all. So hopefully you can't tell that.
Yeah, not at all. Not until you told us, and now we know. Now we're going to be analyzing your performance.
Well, you can. That's fine. That's fine, Jay.
And I'm an old ham. No, I used to do some acting, and I love the camera, but I'm not going to talk to the camera. I want to talk to you. My name's Jay Bradley, and I focus mainly on breath work. And I use Ho'oponopono, which is a self-love and forgiveness practice as well. And it's something that I just love so much. But I spent many years in health and wellness and youthful aging, which is interesting now because a lot of what I focused on was looking and feeling young. And I don't really care about that so much anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I care about just feeling good in the moment and being happy. And, I mean, of course, we all want to look good and, stay vital.
For sure.
But my focus has definitely changed.
Yeah. Well, I had to say, before I was a practitioner here, I was taking, I took a bunch of Jay's breathwork classes, and they are intense. They are definitely transformational. So if you get a chance to...
Thank you.
Attend one of his classes, please do. I remember I was ugly crying for a few of those sessions, and they are intense, but it's really good work.
Sometimes we need to be cracked open in order to get to the core of who we are.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, just peel back the layers a little more gently. It just depends where you're at in your life.
Yeah.
But I think, I want to talk about this imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Because I have brought this up on numerous occasions, because I remember reading, and I could be wrong about this, but I think Meryl Streep.
Yes.
I thought I read that she has imposter syndrome, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Meryl Streep?
It was like an Instagram photo or something. It became like an Instagram viral.
So I'm not imagining
sensation.
that, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's crazy.
No, and so I just realized, I think we, and this is what I talk about in class, is I think we all have some form of lack of belief in ourselves and a lack of self-esteem, which is the imposter syndrome primarily, right?
Yeah.
It's feeling like a fake.
Yes. Yeah. And not recognizing your accomplishments, forgetting all about things you've achieved.
Oh yeah. And we can talk to our friends and our family and say how amazing they are and how much they've done, but then when we talk to ourselves, it's we tend to not talk so kindly.
Yeah.
And we look at what's going wrong versus what's going right. But Meryl and all these actors I've heard who have imposter syndrome, it's I remember reading that they're afraid somebody's going to knock on the door and say, okay,
the jig is up.
Yeah, exactly. You're a fake.
Yeah, it's so amazing to me, especially with something like imposter syndrome, because I think it ties into a lot of issues we've talked about, or I feel like we've dealt with before. if you're a perfectionist, you know, like you want to do your best, and so if you feel like you're letting yourself down, you might feel like a fraud. Or if you do have anxiety issues or feel insecure at all, like it becomes, you know, focusing it more on you as opposed to what it should be about when you're, as a practitioner or healer, focusing outside of yourself, you know, on a person. And I think that's where we can sort of shift imposter syndrome in some ways, you know?
Yeah.
When we realize, wait, isn't that really not about us?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was thinking, like, what do we want to talk about today? And then that whole message of, like, it's not about you. And I don't mean to be, like, cold. And I said that in the teacher training yesterday that I do. Is, like, we're catalysts for, you know, energy to work through us. But when we start making it about ourselves, there's so much pressure.
Yeah.
So instead, just focus on, hey, I'm here as a channel. I have some gifts, and I'm going to share those. Yeah. It's not about us.
Right. And then, I mean, I still, you know, we all have an ego in that sense. It's easy to, being cognizant of, like, okay, checking my ego. Got to check my ego, you know? But in some way, I think that's also why imposter syndrome is kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
It's because if we're that overly concerned, it doesn't mean we want to do a good job. You know, it doesn't mean we want to serve. You know, it doesn't mean we're going to be complacent and not continue to evolve or learn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, it keeps you on your feet.
Yeah.
Keeps you wanting to do your best.
Yeah.
But it's ego, right?
Yeah.
And ego is funny because it makes you feel either better than or less than. And I don't know about you. It sounds like we have similar stories, and I spent most of my life feeling less than.
Yeah.
And inferior, like the imposter, but even worse, like not really validated. So anyway, it's an interesting thing. But if I think what's important is that we share it, especially if other healers are watching or people in the business of helping people. And if we can get out of our own way and know and share this crap.
Yeah.
Like, we all deal with our stuff. And, you know, people can look at you and think you have it all together, and you know, you got this, you got...
I mean, because he looks like that.
Oh, yeah, well, little do we know, this is... But even online, right, everything looks so great. You're so busy teaching and doing this and traveling and writing books.
Yeah.
People still have insecurities and fears. And, you know, I still go through that, and that's what I wanted to share is, you know, I've been teaching breathwork for almost 3 years now and working with people. I had it yesterday doing a teacher training. You know, there's that feeling of, oh my God, what if I don't give them the right information, or what if they don't get enough, or what if they don't have the shifts that they need? Even in private sessions, you know, there's a responsibility, but if we can just say, they're going to get what they need, and I'm just going to share the info and do my best. Yeah, and we have to be reminded that whoever's seeing us doesn't know what we know, doesn't know our knowledge. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes we assume, like, oh, this is just something we know, and we take it for granted that others are going to know that. But no, that's why they're seeing you. You know, like they're coming to get your knowledge, and it's, I guess when you think of it that way, it kind of makes it a little easier as well. And I can't believe you deal with that. Like, I don't know. I think you have a really great gift, and I think that it comes so naturally, and so I think it's the ego's way of preventing us from living in the light. Don't you? Yeah. It's like that little voice. You're not ready. You're not good enough yet. Maybe a little longer. Maybe another certification. Maybe. Yes. It's like constant. Yeah. But that's crap. Yeah, it's so funny. I was reading something from this hypnotist at one point, and he was actually talking about imposter syndrome. And what he said, I was like, oh, that really makes sense. He was saying something like, we all were like seemingly, like cave people at one point in time, right? Mm-hmm. And, everything is made up. Like, we've made up universities and degrees and techniques. Like, it's all made up. So in some way, like, everything is an imposter. You know what I mean? Like, it's all made up. So it's not something... it doesn't kind of weigh you down as heavily when you think of that. Do you know what I mean? Actually, does that make sense? Yeah, it reminds me. I did this self-help course when I was acting, and it was all about anxiety and stuff like that. And they had us do this practice where, like, let's say you're an actor and you have your first job on ABC, right? And it's like, oh my God, it's ABC, right? But if you could go before the time of ABC, before it existed, and put yourself there, it's kind of similar to what you're saying. it takes the stress away of oh my God, it's ABC. Because like you said...
It didn't exist at one point.
It's just a name.
all made up.
Yeah. We put a lot of pressure on things.
Yeah. Like we give it this meaning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not about our emotions, really. You know? What do you believe about what you're thinking? What do you believe about what you're feeling? You know?
Yeah. Which brings us to like the whole anxiety and stress thing.
Yes.
Oh, and depression.
Yeah.
You have had...
I've always dealt with anxiety as a kid. Like hardcore debilitating, like social
attacks?
anxiety.
What would happen?
More like I would just withdraw myself from living life. Like
okay, nothing major.
it's really like when I look back now, I was like, wow, I feel like I was just born fearful. Like it sounds weird, but I can't remember a time when I wasn't scared.
Oh my God!
And I remember clear instances of me going to like join Girl Scouts when I was little, and like going into this hall with my parents, and then seeing all these girls, and they're just like screaming, and I beelined it out through the back of the building and left. And I said, yeah, I don't need to join this. It was like too much. It was like overwhelming. And even I remember a time, I believe it was college, when you're forced to do like a speech class. Mm-hmm. And I got through some of the like speeches and had to do one really big like 20-minute speech.
Oh, well, that's scary.
And I threatened, I was just like, I'm just gonna drop out. Like I don't need to do this. Like just drop out of school.
You should have.
And I almost
I'd be a great parent. That's okay, honey. Just drop out.
I know. I was like, who needs school? Just take this speech class. Like this is ridiculous. But I just barely like made it through that.
But you do know public speaking is like people fear that more than death. So.
Well, it's understandable. I feel like. So yeah, I've always had some like those. You know, I wouldn't go to like slumber parties when I was a kid because there's too many people. Like just things like that, parties, and I remember just wanting to figure it out on my own. Like nothing against like medication or anything. If you need to do that, and that's your thing.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I'm gonna try a different option because I feel like I'm sort of doing this to myself. You know what I mean? Like,
You understood that maybe it was situational or environmental. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, and then I knew that, if I worked on myself, my own skills, and I still do it to this day. Like this is making me nervous as I stumble over my words. You know what I mean? Like this makes me nervous.
She's been drinking.
Just a little bit. No one needs to know, Jay. No one needs to know.
Oh my
God. Just a little vodka. It's clear. See, it's how you hide it.
Exactly. Yeah, well, I can actually relate, not to the Girl Scouts thing, although I probably would have preferred Girl Scouts over Boy Scouts. I avoided a lot of stuff. I would pretend to be sleeping in when the Cubs and Boy Scouts came up and stuff. But I think also, now that we work helping people heal, we're intuitive and we pick up on people's energy too. And I think it's confusing as kids to know if it's yours or if it's other stuff that you're picking up. And I think maybe that's what I was picking up as a kid. Like large groups made me kind of anxious, and
that's a really good point.
Definitely had depression and, have had it throughout most of my life. Mm-hmm. Although I will say, things have been really, really good. I really believe breathwork has helped me so much. And now I'm able to separate myself from... It's mainly the thoughts that got me depressed, and the feeling stuck. Yeah. Like, when are things going to take off for me? And when, when am I going to meet somebody? And feeling a little bit stuck in victim.
Right.
Yeah, so we have victim and we have imposter. Ooh, it's looking good. This is a positive podcast so far.
We're here today. What do you mean? We've overcome a lot.
We've overcome a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
I know.
To be here.
We have.
To be here, sitting right here.
Right here with you.
Oh my God, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wounded healers.
Yeah.
I think that ties in with everything we've been talking about. I mean, usually I don't want to say the best healers, but people who are really in touch have walked the walk and they've struggled and they've had a lot of shit because then they understand and they can be empathic. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, you end up being really relatable. I mean, even if I were to see someone that wasn't really aware of my issues or, then I'd be like, how would they really step into my shoes and understand like what's going on, you know? Yeah. I think, and then it makes us still strive to find other tools and resources to to help ourselves. Like I'm still constantly looking at different methods that work for me and that I can share with others. Like I think that is just endlessly valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to keep growing and learning and evolving.
Yeah.
I would agree on that.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, I know there's always like debate. There sometimes is a debate, like should you see somebody that still has issues, but like we're not perfect people. Like no one's perfect.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing about and we talked about that too, and how, in fact, this comes up in class sometimes. I think when we go to class, I mean, we want to know that the teacher has it somewhat together, I think.
Right.
And so I often debate, like, do I really share, like what happened yesterday and then I had a really bad day, or that, I'm still stuck in this area, because then maybe they won't believe that this breath work works. Right. Right?
Right, yeah.
That's super vulnerable and raw.
Yeah.
Versus, this is where I was and this is where I am now.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, if you go to a class,
it's a fine line. Sometimes, I mean, I like that the teacher is kind of vulnerable, because then, like, to be honest with you, like, I came into your breathwork class and I was like, oh, this guy, he's like Ken. He's like, where's Barbie? I was like, he's like, okay. And then I was like, and it meant like at the time, like,
totally.
You know what I mean? I was
That's
like,
so
oh
cool.
wow, he's really fit and like looks really well put together, and like I probably have nothing in common with him at all. And I was like, oh, let's do this thing. And then I remember us talking, and I was like, oh, like he's totally down to earth, and like I could talk to him about, and we have like similar interests and similar issues that we deal with, and it just made it more an enjoyable experience for me.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
No, that's really great too, because I think we forget what we project, and that's why vulnerability is so important too, because people could look at you and think you have it all together, and that's why it's important to relate. But sometimes I wonder, like, and again, things are really good right now, like things are flowing for me in a lot of areas, but if I went to a class with somebody who's been doing therapy of any type, and I see that they're
like a mess,
depressed,
like a hot mess.
Again, this is not me. I'm not like suicidal or depressed and struggling that much. But, or if they're really stuck financially and they're single and they're, addicted.
Yeah. You want to know,
be like, well, this doesn't work.
Yeah, you want to know they're doing the work and it's working for them.
Yeah. So I think it's a fine line, right?
Yes, it's a fine line.
Like, hey, I was here. I'm here now because of this work.
Right.
I'm still struggling in this area, but that's life, maybe.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah, you don't want to think that, like, your teacher's a hot mess.
Can you imagine? Welcome to the breathwork class.
I'd be like, how long is this class? I'm out.
This is super powerful. I'm really feeling good. Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, no, that would be bad. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yes, I agree with you. And I think that's juggling that or knowing how to present yourself in an authentic way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And still be vulnerable.
To also know that you're not going to resonate with everybody, and vice versa. That's also hard as somebody who's a healer or in the public eye.
Yeah.
I sure had that. Like, I'm Canadian. I'm nice. We want to be liked. And that was hard to realize.
Is that a Canadian thing?
Yeah, oh yeah. We're like so nice. Not every Canadian, but, Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And that's hard, though, to know that not everybody's going to like you, or they're going to judge you based on the way you look or this or that.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, that comes down to, like, insecurities, and we all have them. You know what I mean?
Focus on the work. Focus.
Yes.
And that's really what it comes down to, I think, is just like, how can we serve? How can we get over our shit to know it's not about us, and to be of service and to keep sharing the work, knowing that we're not perfect, but we're going to keep doing our best.
Yeah, and it's like a lot about perseverance, like as that individual and that practitioner, or as general as people, It's like, do we allow our fears, our doubts, imposter syndrome, things like that, our depression, our anxiety to stop us? Or do we persevere past it and keep going? And I think that's the goal,
That is the goal. And we were talking just earlier about this too, and I had the big birthday, the big 50, and I was just saying, like, I literally feel that things just shifted maybe at 49. And I could have easily given up a long time ago, because that's a lot of years of, again, my life wasn't horrible, but there was a lot of struggles and, like, pushing against walls. And I bring that up because, like, I guess I want everyone to know that, like, you just keep doing the work, and eventually things will shift.
Yeah.
Eventually, like, you'll get to a place that feels better. I really believe that.
Yeah.
As long as you keep expanding and trying new things and maybe being a little adventurous.
Yeah.
What about you? Like, have you done a lot of healing modalities?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly still doing things, like checking things out. I think the values, like, I used to be like, I just want to be confident. And I realized approaching things that make me scared, I now appreciate different values. Like, I appreciate being gentle with myself and others.
Yeah.
You know, curiosity. You know, those are the things that I cultivate now in order to, like, and being adventurous in that sense, like, just constantly just, like, going for it.
Yeah.
I think, you know, no matter what. It's just, like...
How are things for you overall?
Good. I mean, I'm doing getting myself out there as a practitioner more.
Yeah, you
now.
are.
And it's scary, I'll admit.
I've noticed a big shift in your social media and, like, stepping up and owning your place.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrifying. But you know what? I'm doing it, you know, because, like, that's where I want to be. You know, I want to continue doing this. I want to serve people.
Yeah.
And so you got to put your stuff aside, you know,
Yeah.
and you got to sort it out and work it out. And I think a lot of our healing happens as we're doing those things that make us uncomfortable, you know?
Yes.
As we're doing them. And then, like, oh, that shifts. You know, that's where our growth happens a lot of the times.
And you know what? You said that, and then I started to think, I have something similar, putting myself out there, and then I think, oh, they're going to think it's about me. Or So again, that ego, imposter stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like, well, if I promote myself too much, they're going to think it's all about me versus the work. And a lot of crazy thoughts go through, but I guess we just have to stay on track knowing we're doing our best.
Yeah.
But social media, you know.
Social media.
It's a full-time job.
It's a whole thing.
I was doing a couple posts today, and I'm like, this is really tiring. Like, I need people to do my social media.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But I also want to talk to people on social media. You know what I mean? I don't want, like, some robot doing it.
Right.
But it is time consuming.
I mean, you are becoming, like I was saying on your post, you're becoming a force, you know. You're
force?
everywhere. Doing stuff everywhere.
Well, my prayer has been, like, use me, make me of service. I seriously, you know, I spent so many years not feeling of service. Yeah. Seriously, like, I want to be busy doing what I love. Yeah. And every day I want to be doing something, you know, with breathwork, helping people. And so I've just been booking events, and sometimes I have too many, like, a lot of events. And then I'm a little overwhelmed. Not because I can't keep up with the events, but, like, promoting them. Right. And posting about them and still trying to let people know I have a personal life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that balance.
Yeah, I think, like, I don't want to be that guy, breathwork.
Yeah.
But that's kind of all that I'm about right now. I don't have much of a life.
Well, that
is my life.
That means you need to, like, get balance now back in your life.
I mean, I'm so happy, though. Like, I love it because, you know, and that's the other thing that's happening is I feel like my work is my life. But because it's a natural part of who I am. Right. Yeah, but no, I totally would love a relationship if anyone's watching. Men.
This became a dating podcast. Yeah. Jay's available.
Yeah, my phone number is...
We're both single.
Yeah. You're not single, are you?
I am.
I thought you were dating.
Yeah, I'm single.
Oh, that's a whole nother podcast. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
Life hasn't changed. Life's a changing.
Man, you want to share your, what you're looking for? No, okay.
Women, no.
Yeah, women, okay. Women, men, done. Let them reach out.
Today's your night.
Let the phones begin to ring. Oh my God, okay, this is...
Oh my God, this is veered off track.
Yeah, in a terrible direction.
Where can they find you, Jay?
Yes, my website is always a good place, breatheonit.net. And I love Instagram the most. You know, I think it's a really fun social media app, and it's Breathe On It with Jay Awesome. What about you?
Mine is not as catchy as that. It's my first and last name, LANIBUESS.com. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook, Lani B Change Agent. And you can find me also on the Liberate Hollywood website.
What's their site?
LiberateYourself.com.
LiberateYourself.com. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good to talk.
You too.
We'll do it again.
Yeah. It's our first deep cuts experience.
I know it's painful.
It's painful. Oof.
Do you have Kleenex? I'm feeling some emotion here.
I know. We need real drinks now.
Yeah.
Real drinks.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Oh, God.
If you enjoyed this conversation, like it, subscribe, and share it with your friends. If you want some more amazing resources on your path of liberation, head over to liberateyourself.com and sign up for our mailing list. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram at Liberate Hollywood, all one word, or Liberate Emporium, all one word. Until next time, liberate yourself.